see where that goes, but I believe it'll. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Senior Services Advisory Committee meeting. This meeting is being held today to provide some guidance and direction for our new Senior Services Director. This is no action, formal action is scheduled to be taken today. It's just more of an informative session. So with that said, I will be calling the meeting to order, and then we will have an election of the chairperson. And then once that's done, I will hand over the reins. So we'll call the meeting to order, I believe at 2:04, something of that nature. It's a short list, Allison, but we just do a quick roll call.
Commissioner Kramer? Present. Commissioner Algier? Here.
Thank you. We'll rise now for the Pledge of Allegiance and then a brief moment of silence, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We will now move on to the agenda item of the election of the chairperson. So do we have a nomination for chair of the Senior Services Advisory Committee?
You want to do it? No, you want to do it. No,
I'll do it.
I don't do it.
Which means then, Jamie, you get to make the motion.
Oh, I'd like to make a motion that
To nominate.
Commissioner Algier as chair for the Senior Advisory Committee.
I can't second that. Who can second it?
I think you
Can't you, Deb?
don't have to. Okay, Allison says we
Oh,
don't
good.
have to according to Robert's rules. So,
Oh, good.
Are there any other nominations? Move that the nominations be closed. Does there have to be a formal vote on that then, Allison?
I've seen it done many ways, but with the two of them, normally we just say, hearing no further nominations, Commissioner Algier would be the chairman.
Hearing no further nominations, Commissioner Algier will be the chair of the Senior Services Advisory Committee. And with that, I will turn the meeting over to the chair. And thank you.
Thank you for your faith in me.
You.
Me too. Do we have an approval of the agenda? And/or are there any late additions?
This is hilarious because there's only two of us. Yes, I will approve the agenda as presented.
I would second that. Okay. Is there any public comment? Thank you for coming. Okay, so there being no public comment, we will move on to the action items. Do I have an approval for meeting minutes for May 9th, 2022? By the way, that's the last time this committee met.
That's a long time ago. Yeah, that's me, right? Yeah, I guess I. What do I do?
I would move to approve.
I would move to approve the minutes as presented.
And I'll support that. Okay, so the shared care renewal agreement, and I think it's time to hear from Lena.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here today. 7 weeks in, so bear with me as I learn this process. The share care, what we are presenting today, and it will be also on the agenda for Tuesday's executive board meeting for the recommended approval. We have a long-standing relationship with ShareCare. We started with a contract for care coordinator, and that was in 2016. In 2020, we changed those contracted services to only provide volunteer services and transportation services. And in 2020, we paid ShareCare $51,000. 2021, we paid ShareCare $52,500 for the same services for volunteer and transportation. Currently, we are paying ShareCare $56,000 for volunteer and transportation services. So it has increased over the years. Looking ahead and what I'm proposing today and would like to get your feedback on is to add a wellness program to our current contract for an additional $44,000. This will use the millage dollars universally, providing a significant enhancement of services to our healthy and active senior population, while also serving our most vulnerable population financially and with in-home services. In the packet you received, you will see an outline of the wellness programming ideas that ShareCare, the executive director, Dawn, and I worked through. So we worked collaboratively to come up with some ideas for the wellness programming to be added.
Okay, Jamie's looking.
I'm looking.
Do you have it? It's not that.
I think it might be on page 10 of your packet. So there was the
She's
agreement.
not finding it.
Mm-mm.
Oh, unless it's in the back.
In the back?
It'll be the last few pages of that.
So I think that this kind of talks to it, and then the back page on it.
Okay, okay. She needs to be able to see this, thank you.
Yes. So I don't have my pages numbered, so I'm sorry. The description of the wellness programming will meet the physical, social, emotional, intellectual, and financial needs of our seniors and their caregivers, offering no less than 12 class offerings a year. That's to start with. We do have an end goal of once a month or once a week in different areas of the county to provide these wellness programs. It could be any one of the ones that are listed on there. I think that this will be the opportunity to provide services to our 60-plus population that we're not necessarily capturing with our in-home services and financial services.
Okay, do you have the budget to do this?
We do. We have a large fund balance, and it was proposed in the budget narrative for 2024 that this monies are available in that fund balance.
So the money in the fund balance has not been allocated.
Correct.
It's going to be extra, surplus. So you're adding more services.
Yes, to the contract.
So how is that? I'm trying to understand. There's coffee, by the way. I'm a coffee person, you guys. I am a coffee person. You feel free to get up and get your coffee so you can hear better.
Let's talk this out first. I'll go get coffee in a minute. Okay.
I will firmly believe we have to have coffee to be attentive. Anyway, so explain to me why there's this, I think it's a great idea. But why is there this extra money?
The fund balance money.
Yes.
For the past 3 years, because of COVID, we haven't been into seniors' homes. They haven't allowed agencies to come into those homes, so that's why the fund balance grew over the last 3 years.
Okay.
So that meaning how, with the fund balance, how long would that cover this? And then what would be required moving forward? Does that question make sense?
It does.
Okay.
Moving forward, the funds are there in the fund balance for 2024. After that year, after seeing how the program works and what the actual funds are to sustain a program, because we haven't done this before, from any records that I've read and the knowledge I have from the outgoing director.
So this is a pilot program?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
for sure.
So I really don't know what we have an anticipated startup cost that Don and I worked through. So I think it would be, I can't really speak to
Moving forward, what it would be.
moving forward, because I don't know how much that would entail from the millage dollars outside of the fund balance.
Okay. Would you be seeking that in the future, or is that what we're talking about, or I'm just clarifying, like for my own?
Yes, I would like to seek that in the future through the millage. I think it's an important aspect to serving those seniors that we might only reach with the foot care voucher program.
Yeah.
That we might only reach with the lunch bunch, the bite-sized learning. That's really all that is provided right now for seniors that don't need that financial piece or the in-home care piece.
I definitely don't feel comfortable talking about a millage in my first time at an advisory meeting here. So I think, from my perspective, I think we should at least table that, or we can talk about it more, but I'm not interested in, until we, I really get into this and know what's going on, I don't think we should.
We're not talking about a millage right now.
Okay. Right now, we're just talking about the fund balance that you have.
Correct, and trying to spend some of that down.
For these services.
Yes.
Which I'm cool with, but the millage thing, I think we need to.
And that, when do we have to?
When should we?
So that's later down on the agenda.
Okay.
So we can I can speak to it now, or.
No, let's wait. Let's get this figured out, because this doesn't need a new millage yet. So she's just working off funds that are available because of COVID.
Correct.
And utilizing them. I have heard from people that they would like these kinds of activities. So I would like to see you offer these and see where that goes. See what kind of reception you get, what kind of input you get from people, what they ask for. It's interesting. Last year, people came to me and they said, "Oh my gosh, Traverse City Senior Center offers so many cool things. Why don't we offer that?" Well, we had to explain. They have a separate millage. They have a separate millage for their senior service and all these fun. They take trips. They do all kinds of things.
Oh, I love the senior. I love the senior center. I'm not joking. It's super fun. But you're right.
But so if we could expand into like the walking group, Tai Chi, some of those things, I think I'd love to see you offer those and see what kind of reception you get and listen to people. See what they want, what would help them better, what would work for them.
Absolutely.
To expand what we can offer.
I also really like the idea of exploring these, and then, maybe then, I don't know the whole scope of what we're getting into, because I'm 15 minutes into this meeting. But, and then reporting, and then then, basing our decision off of even approaching a millage based off of the data that we receive after these are deployed. I would also, I'm kind of steeped, not completely steeped, but a little steeped in the mental health issue. So I'm not sure if, yeah, I'm just not sure if that should be connected to some sort of outside, I mean, it's interesting to explore.
Like
for
number
sure.
7, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, because I know that there are other initiatives that will be happening and are bubbling up, and I don't know if like part of, our budget should be that, like, and, allowing that to stand on its own, because that is its own little beast for the time being. So, and those are just random thoughts, 15 minutes in.
And this is by far a comprehensive list. These were just our first initial ideas.
Yeah.
From
I mean, it's
how
needed.
we know
You are
how-
absolutely correct in putting it there.
Mhm.
Like, it's definitely needed. But yeah, I mean, like, just making sure that you're not recreating the wheel, because there may be
Correct.
some of these things that are already being tackled, and then you just partner with people.
Yes,
And-
and I have done some research into that as well.
Yeah.
Traverse City does
Yeah.
some things.
Yeah.
So instead of reinventing the wheel, get their facilitator
Mhm.
to come and present for our Leelanau County seniors.
Yeah,
So yes, that is all in the works.
yeah, that's awesome.
Question about, would you introduce yourself? I see you smiling back there.
I'm sorry, I'm a smiley person.
No, that's wonderful.
I'm just excited to partner with Leelanau County Senior Services. I'm on 3 months, so
Welcome.
still new in my position, but the rapport I've already had with Lena is exciting. So, but my name is Dawn Basamra, and I'm Executive Director of Share Care, and just really happy to answer any questions. I have 11 years in senior services from Benzie Senior Resources. I ran their senior center, and then the last couple of years I was their assistant director. So I have a lot of understanding and experience of the Grand Traverse, as well as their senior services and how they handled their senior center. Lori Wells, who used to be their senior center director, was my mentor. So I think that there's a lot that can be brought here for seniors, and I'm happy. I don't want to reinvent the wheel either. We want to partner with all the different people and animals and work together.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
Thank
you.
you.
Welcome.
So Lena, are the 51,000 to 56 that has gone for volunteers, costs for volunteer driving and stuff, how is that? Is that well spent, do you think? Is it utilized appropriately? I mean, how is that billed? Is it billed per trip, or you guys just get that blanket amount and you promise to have a whole bunch of people available?
It is billed through each individual, contracted individual, and please correct me if I'm wrong as I'm learning all of this. So they send us a bill monthly by individual on the services Share Care provided. It's all inclusive. We pay Share Care a flat rate of up to $56,000 a year.
Okay,
That is all inclusive of what you see on the form attachment A, minus the wellness programming, because that was added in there. So it could be anything from the grocery pickup to welcome team calls to minor house repairs that volunteers are able to do for the seniors that we refer over to Share Care.
okay, so if they don't have that many requests in a particular month, they will bill less? Okay.
Yes, it differs month to month. and
Okay.
Don and I work closely together to watch that, to make sure
Okay.
if it goes over, they're still going to provide those services, but we only pay up to that $56,000.
Okay, good.
Yes, when the money runs out, we will not stop. Good point. We'll keep going.
Okay. Um, I think it's a good idea to add these if we have this opportunity to try some more programs for people that people have asked for. And then we can judge how successful they are, and people will give you feedback. So thank you for stepping out and adding these additional things, because people have asked for it. So I don't have any problem with this. Do we need to, did you want to,
There's no action required at this point. This is
Yeah.
all just,
advisory?
mhm.
Okay. Good. Do you have anything else on that?
Nope.
You want to say anything else?
I just looked for direction from you both leading up to Tuesday's executive board meeting to anticipate what other questions might be asked so I can be as prepared as I can be to present it.
There'll be some questions about why you have the money,
Okay.
and how it's being utilized, that kind of thing. And what kind of requests you've had. I would stress telling people why you're doing this. What are you responding to? Have people ask for this? And how well it's worked in other counties.
Yeah, just like
Yes, okay.
overall about the basically like, well, these are like programs to keep people healthy. So like maybe some health outcomes, if you can find them, some data, some hard data about how that reflects. It's always, I mean, I always like some good data. And yeah, I mean, I think all of these things are excellent. And I mean, yeah, I just don't, I'm just a little nervous about the village thing. Do we just not mention that, or what do we?
It's not time for that. When does that come up?
Next year.
Yeah, so we don't have to talk about that yet.
Okay, yeah.
We don't have to decide that yet.
Okay,
And I'm glad we'll have this information
yeah, and I would
when we do look for a millage.
I would definitely lean into, like, for me anyway, like language, right? The language surrounding it, that it's a pilot program. It's testing, it's learning, it's refining, it's iterating, it's finding out what's valuable and what people find valuable, what the residents find out. And then testing and iterating and coming to your own conclusions about what would best serve Leelanau County from this list, you know? Because it's not only like, well, we think this is really great, and we know that the data supports that, but like, if you don't have anyone show up, then obviously it's not an effective program. So just making sure that people understand it's a pilot program. We're just learning and we're iterating, and then we're hoping to bring to the board a more comprehensive list before we move into this next stage. I think that's what I'd like to hear.
I'm not sure you have to get board approval before you offer.
No, but just having us understand. No. But like having us understand. I feel like it's, for me anyway, that's what I.
So updates.
And I also like
Keep
to.
a surprise.
Yeah, I mean,
Let us know.
that's
And
good.
let us know how it works.
Yeah, and good and bad, like not just the good, because I get tired of people blowing smoke up my bum. I want to know what didn't work, you know? Like I want to know, what you found, like the hard just data. 'Cause it's
So
all about
perhaps we should have more meetings of this board
I mean, I think
for that kind of
it would be
detail.
helpful,
For
yeah.
that kind of detail. We can do that.
And even like a Zoom, I don't really care. I just want to know what's going on.
Well, we can have this meeting again, where they can let us know how this is working.
This contract with Sharecare expires December 31st. So this would be
Okay.
a renewed contract with the addition of the wellness program. So I
that-
won't have any of said data.
Yeah.
Until 20.
Oh, yeah, and
So
I
you
wouldn't
can't offer any of
expect
this until then? You can't sneak it in? You've got the money.
We do, and I would have to think on how we could offer that.
It's
It would have to be an addendum to the current contract, which expires soon,
Okay.
if I understand the process correctly.
I'm just
Of
wrapping my
asking, of asking to spend money. We don't, as LCSS, we don't have the staff to create these programs where ShareCare has the volunteer base.
Okay. It'll probably take between now and then, just work this up too.
Correct.
Okay, all right.
Can I add to that?
Mm-hmm.
We have 3 upcoming seminars here. One is next Tuesday, I believe, yes, with Bruce and who's the other attorney. They're a law firm that handles senior services, different senior. And they will be here for 3 different seminars about estate planning, about how to get everything ready for your family. But there's 3 different topics. And that was brought about with the Living and Aging Well committee that was created with all different agencies coming together. So regardless of how this moves forward, Shared Care's goal is wellness model. And so these things are going to start happening. So you will see a little bit starting next Tuesday. My board has already said yes on trips, so I'm already reaching out to a company that I know that works to get offerings so that I can get that info out to people next year right away.
Good. Good. Okay, you guys can create some good things together.
I think we can.
Good. Good. Thank you. Thank you for stirring the pot and coming up with some new ideas. And I hope everyone understands there is a newsletter that goes out, and you can subscribe to the newsletter through Senior Services.
Is it this one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay. Do you need anything else from us on that?
I don't think so.
You actually didn't need anything from us, but we did need to understand.
And I do have some takeaway points, so thank you. That's what I needed.
Okay, good. The fund balance discussion, did we incorporate that, or is there more?
There's a little bit more to that outside of the additional 44,000 that will come out with the shared care addition to that contract. So the fund balance is just over 1.1 million.
Mm-hmm.
And that has grown because of the pandemic, like I already explained. Currently, we are serving 78 seniors for home care, and we have approximately $77,000 left in the home care budget. So we anticipate to use some of the fund balance to balance out the budget for 2023. I don't have a magic 8 ball to anticipate what that money might be, how much we would go over, but we have, April and I worked on the budget to look forward into 24 on the proposed budget to make sure that if there was any overage, that it was laid out in the 2024 budget.
Okay, so are you talking, when you say you have 1.1 million, that is supposed to last until you get the next millage, right? Or you're gonna get more money, is it the fall or the winter where the millage is?
It is the fall,
Mhm.
the primary.
But in the last tax bill, the millage is levied in December. So it would be dollars then generated for next year.
Okay. So we didn't get it, so I'm not sure, were we supposed to get anything on paper?
I don't, not in
Not
regards to
today.
this, but
Okay.
in the board packet, there will be, I think, just again, these issues.
Okay. Okay, so you're gonna use part of the fund balance of the overage. So the overage for this year is what?
We're not over yet. We have 77,000 left for our contracted services or in-home services.
Okay,
That approximately if we take the most expensive home care, that leaves us with 13 people we could serve under like med management alone. Because that's our most expensive service that we pay for. It would be, if homemaking would be probably the less of the four, and then we could serve 106 more individuals, but that's just for homemaking. So I
Okay.
anticipate us to go over. We have had, compared to last year, September to December of '22, we had 13 new referrals for home care services. So if I can anticipate what this year is
we're all
going to be
getting
like,
older.
we're going to have more than 13.
Okay, so I'm confused, and I'm not good at this anyway. If you have $44,000 left over, but you are telling me now you have 77,000 and you've got it spent, so next year you're going to have 44 somehow?
The 44 is in addition, it is coming out of the fund balance, or I'm proposing it to come out of the fund balance
Yeah,
to add to the share care agreement.
right. And if you only have 77 left this year and it's allocated, where are you getting the 44?
No, we have
That's what I'm
77
missing.
left in our home care budget,
Okay,
not our fund balance.
okay,
So what I'm trying to explain is that we will likely have to dip into our fund balance to balance out the 2023 in-home service budget at the end of the year. And it's
Okay.
anticipated to use up to 200,000 of that fund balance.
okay. And what does that mean then for next year? I just need to understand that. Or is that just routine?
If I may?
Yeah.
So there is approximately the 1.1 million that is in the fund that can be allocated each year for
Right.
expenditures. So there are funds that can be allocated each year. It's that would support the programming for next year and probably into 2025, depending on what the board ultimately decides in terms of the senior millage. So there are funds available to move forward. It's just the budget that Lena has put forward is how the allocations are distributed for the home care, those other services, and the shared care program. Hopefully that helps, I'm not sure.
Okay, this is not a big change. You're just telling us how you're getting through the rest of the year.
And how I'm going to address that 1.1 fund balance that we have to help spend down some of that money going into 2024.
Okay. Okay, any questions?
Not current.
There are a few other items that will come out of that fund balance to help spend that down. In the budget narrative, there is, we are asking for a new car to buy one of the retired patrol cars, I believe.
Sounds about right.
And then,
How about if you got a used hybrid?
Oh, geez.
Spend less
Gwen,
on gas.
Gwen.
Spend less on gas.
I know, we're gonna get you
We
your
spend
own commercial.
$145,000 on gas. I know, that's stupid.
Oh, no, you're passionate about your EV.
Well, I'm passionate about not spending money.
I know, it's good. But I also, if we have a vehicle that's already on the ready,
I don't know, we have to see.
what the,
I don't have one on the ready yet.
Yeah, we
okay,
don't have one on the ready.
There's no retired-
And it would be a used vehicle as it is, so I think we need to just investigate that, because your department, the police can't do it, the sheriff's department can't do it, I get that. But you could do it. And we could save, we could start to save some dollars. You notice I'm not saying electric? I wish I could.
just every time.
I should, actually, we should
I
get
want to
electric.
put graphics over you.
You're gonna get me going. I don't like spending money that we don't need to spend.
No, I think it's a good idea, but if we have something available, I'm just.
We don't.
The fund balance is there, and I guess.
What should the fund balance be at this
Well,
point?
I'm glad you said that first, because I don't want for it to affect anything going into 2024
Yeah,
millage.
so what should the fund balance be right now?
Great discussion for this committee, because I don't have the answer for that. I've thought about it. We are nonprofit.
Right?
Right now, it looks like we are running for profit, like we're making a profit, but I want to spend some of those down so it doesn't affect what we can do in the future.
Well, I think, and don't say we're making a profit, because we're not. We just happen to have some money left over.
Because of COVID.
And we want to
Yes.
use it
Yes.
creatively to serve people.
Correct.
And I do believe firmly, people have asked for these programs, so let's give them a shot.
Mhm.
So we know better in the future what we should be offering. Don't say we're making a profit, that'll make the enterprise or something. Because we're not.
No, you have like a back stockpile
Correct.
because you weren't
Yeah.
able to basically do the programming that you normally would do.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I think that makes sense to utilize those funds to run a pilot program. That seems like a really great use of them, actually.
Okay. There's also Meals on Wheels. For 24, it's on the proposed budget to, I believe we pay them, we are in contract with them at $56,000. We have asked for $75,000 because they are stopping their delivery to Leelanau Christian Neighbors for the frozen meals that we distribute at Leelanau Christian Neighbors every Monday.
Why?
I think they have
Because it was started when COVID started, so they weren't going into
Homes.
people's homes and trying to keep people safe.
I'm also on the board for the Community Action Agency. I don't know if, I probably should just disclose that, who runs the Meals on Wheels. So, I know that there have been, there've been budget constraints and things of that nature there. So to me, that sounds like a good use of those funds.
We had a discussion with myself, April, and Deb with Lisa Robichek in regards to those deficits that they have seen over the past COVID years and where they're at. So if our monies are there, we can allocate
I think we should
a
have.
little bit more. And with that stopping of the service at Leelanau Christian Neighbors, we will increase the home deliveries in Leelanau County.
Okay, so
There are
the
some
Monday
seniors
thing
like
is
that.
just going to stop anyway.
September 25th.
So you can, for the people that could get there to pick up food, they will resume home delivery to those people?
Yeah, which means they have to do more work, really.
Meals on
Instead of
Wheels.
going to one place, they're going to all of those different locations. And I firmly believe, after a long time being in this community, that Meals on Wheels is a lifeline to those people, not only because it brings them food, but there's a person there every week they can see and be around.
So you're talking about increasing the allocation from some of your funding?
Correct.
Okay, the board will like that, instead of,
The board will like.
they will.
Yeah, I would, I mean, I'm on the board, I would like it. It's great.
Every year, there's arguing about giving Meals on Wheels the money they need, and I think we've always underfunded them, which is,
It's a terrific program, I think it's an excellent
Yeah.
idea.
I would love to see that turned around. So good.
So that relates to the fund balance there. And then the last thing that I just started to dive into is the award amounts that we give financial assistance. We haven't adjusted, those awards were last set in 2013. And this is for income qualified seniors.
Yes.
So those haven't been touched since 2013 with the cost of living or inflation. I would like to look at that as a committee, not today because I'm not prepared. I just want to put it out there that that is something we need to look at.
Can I ask, just out of sheer stupidity on my part, what are those funds usually allocated toward? So like, if I'm a senior, what can I come to you for help, and what are those dollar amounts? And I know you're still getting used to all this.
I think I can speak to this. So we have seven different levels.
Okay.
Okay, so level 1 is our most vulnerable, and that's 100%. So we go off income and asset testing, and they're all based on the poverty guidelines.
Sure.
So for instance, if you need heating and utility assistance, we would provide $800 out of level 1
Okay.
for heating and utility. Same thing with unmet needs. If you had a medical bill you couldn't pay, or you needed something fixed on your house, we could pay up to $800 for that unmet need.
Okay. Question. Now, I don't know where the overlap is. Again, sheer stupidity. The Community Action Agency, I know, covers some of these things. Can they utilize both of them, or how does that function? Like, sorry, I don't know. You know. I see some head nodding, so I'm like,
They
okay.
can utilize whatever resources they can get in touch with. And
Okay.
we say, please call Share Care, please call Leelanau Christian Neighbors,
Okay.
please call Area Agency on Aging,
Sure.
Father Fred, Salvation Army. Like, there's a whole list of resources that people can use services to pay a bill. And we've had people call and say, I have this commitment from all these people. What can senior services provide?
Okay.
And so we write like a letter of commitment saying we can pay up to, if they haven't utilized their funds, up to $800.
So utilize their funds, you mean like each individual that falls under that category then has a set amount of funds. So you could, per year. So maybe you only need 300. Then you could have 500 set on reserve for you. And if the roof breaks or something like that, then you're like, okay, we have that. So you're looking to increase those funds to what?
That's what I'm working through.
Okay.
In my preliminary sit-down look at, I'm talking like yesterday, sit-down look at numbers. Okay?
Yeah.
So not a lot of time spent into this. Over the last 10 years, think about 3% increase. That's 30%.
Sure.
So I was looking at 25% to kind of make a nice even. That would give $1,000. That's an additional $200 on those two categories for the heating, utility, and unmet. There's additional categories, but
Right.
those are the two biggest ones.
Yeah, and then the community in action, like they have, they're specific, very specific things. So is this more broad in general, so they can like cover more things than necessarily? Okay, cool, that's great.
And I have not done a county to county comparison
Mhm.
to see where their award levels are at.
Okay, that would be interesting.
That is on my to-do list.
Radar, yeah, I'm sure it's huge right now. It's just starting, this is a lot. Good job.
I worked in the office at LCN. In there, it was so many years ago, I don't remember what it was called back then. But people came in and asked for money, and yes, we directed them to senior services, to Father Fred, to all of those things. Because people would come in with a well pump that was broken, and we would direct them to NMCAA or whatever. But people who just did not have the funds to cover that kind of thing. So it was very important that we could direct them. And yes, this is all income qualified. They just don't hand out money.
Correct.
As we know, we've got a lot of poverty in this county, and as our Alice numbers show, there's lots of people who unfortunately need the assistance.
So you are going to have to, when we do come to millage time, you are going to have to absolutely show and justify that you need every dollar, or there will be motions to decrease the millage. Okay?
Bring visuals. Not everyone's an auditory learner, so like visuals are good.
But if we can provide programs that people need, that people use, and they've been asking for, and improves quality of life, that's what people want, that's what they vote for, and you do a very good job of that. There is this big bulge of population. Now we're in our 70s and 80s. 10 years ago, we were in our 60s and 70s. So your services are very important.
Yeah, we have like the oldest county in the state. So, I mean, I think you can use all those numbers to your advantage and remind the board and remind everyone where we're sitting. Because a lot of times we always come into things like, especially when we're so deep in it, we forget the basics to communicate the basics. And I think, it's always really good to remind people, like, here's our less income, I don't know how you state that politically.
Asset.
Yeah, there you go. Asset limited. There you go. Here's our asset limited families. Here is our population of aging seniors in the county. Like all of the things that are just seem very basic, but just to remind everyone how needed you are. Because you really do. This is the county for these services.
Sure.
If ever we're a county for these services, this is it.
And I think that takes care of my list for the use of fund balance.
Okay. So an extra to Meals on Wheels. Okay.
The programming. So we have Meals on Wheels programming. What else? Car. Oh yeah, the car.
And then the award levels.
Award levels, okay.
Okay.
That's awesome. There.
We just don't want to set them so high that you can't continue them in the future.
Correct.
Okay. Updating them is important.
Unless you're buying an EV. Right? Sky's the limit.
I didn't hear that.
No. Like I was just taking another stab at your EV.
I'm always looking to save money.
What else we got, guys? Where are we going?
Would that leave us at number 4? I think we kind of already, did we touch on discussion of millage renewal?
Yeah, that you don't know yet that that's next year. So when are you gonna,
Yep, so we're gonna have to set up another committee meeting for those planning purposes.
okay,
It is premature now, but it's something that we need to talk about. And maybe you and I can meet with the clerk to get a timeline, because this is very, very new to me.
yeah,
I need
Yeah.
some direction in
I think-
regards
That's an excellent idea.
to the millage, but I will need the committee to meet again in regards to it.
that's fine.
Okay.
Wouldn't expect you to know how to do that right now. I don't know how to do that, so. But I know that there are people in this building who've done it before, so we'll utilize that. Yes.
Correct. So that's all the discussion I wanted to have on the millage.
Okay, any other topics we need to bring up?
I have a few other topics. You will see 2 executive document summaries, contract renewals on Tuesday's agenda.
Mm-hmm.
And that is for Area Agency on Aging and their Medicare, Medicaid planning. So it is funds that we receive for outreach we do in regards to Medicare, Medicaid, and Bruce Barnes and what services he provides for our seniors to make sure that they are buying into the appropriate programs and saving money where they can, like Medicare savings plans, low-income subsidies. So those contracts are simply renewals. There's no changes.
Okay. Okay,
With the Area Agency on Aging, we did receive a letter of recognition from Beth Wagner, who is a board member representing Leelanau County. She also serves as board secretary, member of the executive committee, and chair committee.
what's her last name?
Wagner.
Okay,
If I may, I believe that was a letter of resignation, not a letter of recognition.
Oh, did I say recognition?
That's okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. Just for the minutes, I just want to make sure that we clarify that.
okay. So we need another person?
I think that will be a board appointment, but so that the committee is aware.
I'm not sure, you know what, I was on that briefly. I'm not sure it was a board appointment.
I have to clarify that, but just
Yeah, let's
so that the
clarify
committees
that.
know.
And that's all I have under other topics.
All right.
Anything else you need from us as you move your way into this? You have an excellent group to work with.
I do, and I've gotten to know my staff, and they're great, and put me in the right directions, and crunch numbers for me when I'm like, I can't even put 2 thoughts together, so they've been great.
Okay, good.
I'll let you know if I have other questions, I know I will, just a matter of time.
Well, I'm glad you're trying these programs because we have heard from people that that's what they want, so.
Okay.
Good. And thanks to ShareCare for stepping in to help with this stuff. We're best when we work as a team.
With EVs.
With what?
EVs.
You know, I tell you what, I have really, really, really enjoyed not buying gas for a year.
I bet
It's
you
been
have.
really
Yeah,
nice.
no, it's
I
great.
don't miss pulling up to gas stations one bit, nor do I miss paying for it.
I would completely agree with you. I do like the smell of gas, though. I'm that weird person.
Yeah. Well, go ahead. We'll give you a,
I think that's all. Should we end it on that? I think there's a better note we could end it on other than I like the smell of gas.
so, any other comment? This is
Anyone?
board member comment? Public comment?
Oh, go ahead.
I'm Patty Lesh, and
Hi, Patty.
and I'm from Northport, and I've lived there for a little over 7 years, and I come from Manistee County originally. And when I found out about this, kind of on the late side, like yesterday, and so I got on the phone this morning with Sarah Howard, who is the director of the Senior Center in Manistee County, which I feel is the creme de la creme of senior services and that type of thing. And I'm really excited about what what she has said about working with healthy seniors and providing opportunities for them. When I came here 7 years ago, I felt extremely isolated. I had nothing. I didn't go to the bars, I didn't drink wine, I didn't do all the things that people do in northern Leelanau County. And so it was a really, really, really rough year for me, and I had to go back to work for a while because it was just too bad for me. And when, as you said, people are calling out for other activities. One reason why some of the activities that work in Manistee County is because people within the area volunteer their services to provide services like the extra fun things. They volunteer to help organize trips. I volunteered to do an exercise class in my little community of Bear Lake. And I had 7 ladies show up, and they were so excited about the fact that there was somebody there to hold them accountable with exercises, and we got to chat and everything else. So those things are incredibly important, especially in Leelanau County. We have a young senior population, and then we have our older senior population. If you take care of your young senior population, it's going to take less money to care for the older population. So the healthier we are, the more active we are. The more active we are, the more healthier we are. So I am encouraged, and I thank you very much for the hard work you're doing, but I would like to encourage any of you who want to see what a senior center looks like that really works well and serves the whole county by going to the whole county instead of just staying in one place. Manistee Senior Center is not just Manistee. It is Bear Lake, it's Calabar, it's Onekama, it's all across the county, and they share their opportunities. They do 2 Meals on Wheels in person a week at these out-county areas. They use churches to utilize their kitchens. Meals on Wheels brings in their food, and and they're not in paper, cardboard containers. It's brought in, and people share meals together. This builds community, it builds relationships. And I also worked for a assisted living company, and I would take my charge into that, and that extended his life. He had a new look on life because he was getting out sometimes 5 days a week if he wanted to go. We would go to the Meals on Wheels at the senior center where there was lots of stuff going on. So if we spend our money wisely, I don't mind. I do not mind paying my taxes, the mills, but it needs to be spent wisely.
Yes.
And an EV, it's just final. An EV isn't it? Because I don't want to see her stopped on the side of the road because she ran out of juice.
She won't. I already asked. They drive 120 to 150 miles a day. My EV will go over 250. You plug in every night like you plug in your cell phone. So it's never an issue.
I feel
Just so you know, people don't understand that. I guess I'm explaining it because people don't understand that you just go home and plug into a 220 at night. It's gone up, I don't know. Well, but that also says it's not a big difference. If I said, oh my God, my electric bill, it's, I'm going to say $50 a month just because I feel like I should. But for months, I said maybe 30. But everybody says, oh, it had to go up. Okay, maybe it went up 50. I don't know. I can't really tell.
One thing I would suggest, potentially, because I believe you're working with volunteer seniors, is that maybe you could,
I would love to take her down to Manistee. I'd love to do a road
Yeah.
trip and take you down and introduce you to Sarah, although I think you probably already have been in contact with her or will be in contact with her, because I did talk to her this morning, and she did know that she was excited. She's looking for some good things. So I would love to take her.
Yeah, I feel like, at least, what worked in Manistee and why did it work and how it worked and then translating that to Leelanau would be a huge benefit, especially if, that's community building, right? Like we don't live in a tribal space anymore where it's just inherent. We all live in these little silos, and so we have to communicate and we have to figure out and redefine what community looks like. And if it's working in Manistee, then there's no reason that it couldn't work here. So it's just figuring out the logistics of how to do that. But I appreciate that. Thank you. Hi. I love your hat.
Okay, my name is Carrie Oman, Lake Leelanau, and mine's not all warm and fuzzy, but I just have some basic questions. And the first one is Commissioner Kramer.
Yeah, that's okay. You can call me Jamie. Really
And
not
we're not
picky.
supposed to,
Oh,
but
am I
anyways,
not?
go ahead.
Whatever. There's two of us
But
here.
when we're done, I know.
And I do appreciate, by the way, everybody's hard work too. Lena, it's just awesome to meet you. I read, about you, and it's just fun to meet you and just hear how much work's involved. Appreciate it. And I only have here in 1 year.
Oh.
You really have a lead, but I was thinking maybe it had to do with the coffee. If you in the future would speak a bit more, that would be awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Considering you were the one I couldn't hear.
Really? That is so funny because everyone in my house tells me to. I'm usually the loudest one. All right. Probably because I'm just getting used to everything. But yeah, no, I'd be happy to speak up, and I'm a very good projector. I was a trained actor, so go ahead.
Thank you for that. And then where can we get copies of a couple different things? I will be building on what Commissioner Algeier and Commissioner Kramer were recommending to you. But where can we get copies of the current fund balance budget, the proposed budgets? In prior meetings, commissioner meetings, and these sorts of things, sometimes they would have at least one extra packet to throw back to the people that are attending the meeting. So where can we get that? Is it online?
I'll address that with you afterwards, after your public comment.
Okay, great. Thank you for that. Let's see, that includes the board packet that was mentioned by Administrator Allen. Okay, so we're interested in those kind of details, so we have a chance to look at it before the next meeting. Let's see. Let me get a copy. Oh, and that would include the packet that you guys had today, the packet that was brought to you guys. And this will be an ongoing request, because what we want to do when we attend the meetings, be able to follow what is specifically being discussed, and not just kind of blindly trying to pick it out part of the conversation. I hope that makes sense. I'm like you, I'm a detail person, I want that data. And that's one of the other things. This is a request for you, Lena, and it really does just build on Commissioner Kramer and Algeier's request for that data. If you can, when you're comparing with the counties, if they are like counties in terms of the demographic, number one, and also, what was my other one? But that's two, I don't remember, but just making it, I don't remember, that was it. But if you'll make it relevant to us in that way, and, I know, when people are asking, it's hearsay when we just hear, we've had a lot of people ask for it. So if you can, to the best of your group's ability, kind of really tell us who's asking, how many people are asking, because when we just hear people are asking, it sounds like I want to know, we've got this many requests for this, and they're all, like this age. I think it's a reasonable request when we're talking about either increasing funding or continuing monies. And that's, thank you.
Thank you. You're really loud now.
Yes.
Keith Canoe from North Park. When I hear millage, okay, that means raising taxes. And it's kind of hard to have affordable housing when you keep raising taxes. So if you want to create affordable housing for this county, lower taxes. So please refrain from trying to get more millage. And also, talking to a Ford engineer, it takes roughly over 5,000 gallons of diesel fuel to run the machinery to make a car battery. Because they don't make electric payloaders, gravel separators, and the lithium that you need to make a car battery, you get from another country. So that takes away another American-made product by going bad.
We're starting to build them here.
Anyone else?
Okay. Any more public comment? Thank you all for coming. Thank you for your information. I guess I would like to say one thing. If we start, I'm a little hesitant about presenting lists of how many people have called. These guys are busy. If we get ideas, let's make sure we jot down all the ideas we get. But if we have to start, that's another busy work thing to say, well, 4 people have called about this one and 10 called about this one, 15 and they called.
Yeah,
So
it
we just
becomes-
have to, I hope you'll be reasonable about that one. So, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Is the meeting adjourned?
Is that a
I believe
question?
the
or-
meeting is.
The meeting is.
Do I have a motion?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Motion.
Support. I don't have the thing.
You
We're
gavel it. There we go.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you, everyone.